All right. Shalom Yashala. Call Halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. Waha Rakha Kodash Brakathum. I like to give double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the select number of Akyam pushing this truth and sincerity in four corners of the round earth. And salutations to the select number of Akwat out there listening. What I'd like to get into, of course, we see what's going on amongst Israel and Iran. And then, of course, this is what? This is going to pull also alliances in. But first and foremost, this is prophecy, man. This is prophecy, okay? And I'm going to keep reiterating the Lord, first and foremost, will always have a very clear point, and we're coming in the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahshua to make, to reiterate that clear point. Like, look, World War III is popping off. It's we already here. So I ain't know, well, what if? No, it's happening. And even now the Lord put the spirit on your man Trump and Vice President Vance, I believe that's his last name. But I'm gonna let the excerpt of this clip play because he's gonna he's gonna speak on Israel and Iran. And I'm gonna get some scriptures to follow it up. JD Vance, Vice President JD Vance, Salakia. So the Lord has put the spirit on them to speak what? To speak more on this, man. The Lord is cooking. So I'm gonna let the excerpt of this clip play and I'm gonna get some scriptures.
I think the most likely and the most dangerous scenario is Iran and Israel right now. So obviously the Israelis are on high alert. They just had this terrorist attack. They're dealing with Hamas. What if in North Israel, a bunch of Iranian-backed militias start killing thousands of Israeli civilians? Okay, so the Israelis invade, do the Iranians counterattack, and now you have Israel, Iran in a regional conflict. The Turks probably have to get involved. The Saudi Arabians probably have to get involved. And then that is the sort of thing that could balloon into World War III. And then the final thing, man, is China wants Taiwan, right? Everything that we have tells us the Chinese want Taiwan.
And that statement he made about when you do your research on on China and Taiwan, they were once unified in China mainland, I believe. And I believe after China was defeated, can't recall that year, and because they've all Ammon is who you would call today your Japanese, and Moab would be today who you call Chinese. So when the Japanese, when they got on China's ass, they took they took over Taiwan. So basically Taiwan was under the rule of Japan for 50 years, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah. So now China, the powerhouse they've become, they want to become unified. But what Taiwan is leaning more towards the U.S.'s policy, with U.S. policies, and it's always, and E is always the common denominator, man. E is in the middle of every damn thing, man. And this is clearly the whore. How a whore, we know what a whore is, how is it that everybody keeps, because hey, she can't keep at home, man. She a slut. That's what America is, man. America is a slut. But the common denominator, if you look at Ukraine and Russia. Ukraine was a part of what? USSR. It was this disband and what's that, in the early 90s, right? Now you have this Middle East conflict and the US and Israel. We see the bond that they have and the relationship they have, and they want Iran to be docile and to stand down and not to fight back. That's not That's not gonna happen, especially according to prophecy. The U.S. is what they're intercepting missiles that Iran has shot at Israel in defending themselves. So you got a country who's defending themselves. I shall say, you have a nation that's that's defending themselves, and it's a issue. Okay, it's an issue. It's an issue. Why? Because that whore is involved, man. America, you know. And you heard what JD Vance said, man. These guys, the Lord has these guys speaking candidly, man, like speaking very open. Okay. This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 6. Yeah. And this is Yahushua speaking, okay? Matthew chapter 24, verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. Hey, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Basham Shah, we're not troubled. We got what? We have the comfort of Yahweh Basham Shah. So we understand what's going on. Okay, everybody else is panicking because we know the job market, things are getting tight. They and E is bringing it through the spirit and power of Yahweh Basham Shah, man. The Lord has set this up beautifully, man. Okay, so E is moving. E is not moving to the own beat of his drum. E is moving under the orders of Yahweh Basham Yashah. The Lord has this thing moving, man. And call halal Yahweh Basham Yashah for that. Okay, if you notice, more and more of these press conferences, that Trump is having with these world leaders, hey, it never fails, man. WW3, yeah, that third woe, yeah, that's mentioned because they are on the brink of it, and they know it's inevitable, man. It's inevitable. It's imminent. It's going to happen. Okay. Let me reread this in its entirety and continue reading. This is back in verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Okay, a few more things, come to pass, but man, we're here, man. Verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Are we not seeing that? Are we not seeing everything that you could possibly imagine that was already bad is doubling? Now you have what? STIs, the transmitted diseases, sexually transmitted diseases now going on heavy, rampant, skyrocketing. That's pestilence. Okay. Now you have people who can't even feed themselves, man. In the States, you have people losing jobs. You have people, because as you can see through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shah, how prophecy is working, man. It's the Lord put the spirit on Trump and them to cut a lot of comfort from this place. A lot of comfort is being taken away from this place. Okay, and with that discomfort, hey, we're gonna feel it, but we're gonna be okay. Abaratazah, man. I'm not in a panic because World War III is popping off. I pray Abaratazah, the Lord has mercy on myself, the apostles, bishops, and elders. That's all we can do and continue to do the work of Yahweh Basham Yashah. I'm not in a panic. I'm not saddened. Okay. And as what you see, these deadly storms now. Okay, you see these deadly storms. You see food recalls. You see all these things happen in diverse places, man. Things that never used to take place like that. These earthquakes in places and shaking up, bro. The magnitude keep getting higher on these earthquakes. Regardless how small or large it is, it's still an earthquake the earth is being shaken, bro, to and fro. Okay, the Lord is the Lord is not playing, bro. But it's beautiful because we're seeing this all play out. You know, if you at this point, bro, if you don't believe or you come against the scriptures, hey, you just ain't right in the spirit. It's right, like literally in front of my face, in front of the apostles, bishops, and elders. We see it. And call Hallel Bashem Yashah for that, man. You know, and having this understanding. Whether some agree or disagree, I don't care. We don't care. This is what we care about: who the Lord is, what the Lord say to do, and what the Lord's about. That's all that matters. All that matters is Yahweh Wah Yahweh Shah, bro. This is Exodus chapter 15, verse 3. Yahweh is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. Okay. So for all the people, because it's common to have emotions towards these things that are popping off. But you have a lot of things that are propagated. But even with everything being propagated, guess what? It's still a will of the Heavenly Father. It's still prophecy. Okay. Okay. The war is money, bro. War is this is revenue. This is driving revenue. All these tech companies, and it's a competition. To be quite honest with you, it's a competition. But guess what? This still plays into prophecy of how the Lord set it up. So regardless of the competition and these corporations getting involved like they did in World War I and World War II, it's still prophecy, and war is still gonna go down. Okay, if y'all can bear me, Baba Shah. This is this is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 5. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine. Okay, what's that wine? That wine is ease ideology. Okay, his whole way of thinking, his philosophies, his doctrines, okay? And the snares that he sets up for people, man. Like for Taiwan and Ukraine, to be not Taiwan. I need to go back into like the NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, because I know Ukraine was trying to become part of that, but guess what? Ukraine is still in the backyard of Russia, man. Okay, and that's why this particular verse came to mind. Let me reread that again. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell. Okay, and bro, he enlarges it. There's no, you see Trump with the tariffs and what they're gonna do, this and that. That's why the US embassies are set up everywhere. And nigga can't keep at home. And he's always in the middle of somebody else's conflict. Because granted, why? Because they have the US has deals with all these countries. And these countries feel safe to throw rocks and hide their hand. But how do they hide their hand? They shoot the missiles, and they what? They lean on the US. Okay? Because everybody know US is still the numero uno powerhouse, but these other nations are becoming as dangerous and intimidating as the US is. Like the saying goes, it's no fun when the rabbit has the gun. In other words, it ain't no fun, when the matchup is fair now. It ain't no more bullying, it ain't no more, threats, like, all right, you gonna do this, bet. These countries are coming together. A lot of them, they're men first. You know, their life and legacy depends on it. But of course, it doesn't matter because this place is almost done with, and it's time for Yashar Allah to come and rule. When Yahweh Shah HaMashiach comes to get his lick back, that's when Israel will be in their right state. Okay. We continue reading verse 5. And is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Okay? So it shows that, like, this nigga is into everything, bro. He's in everybody's business. He's everywhere with these U.S. embassies. He's intercepting missiles with the war, but, you know, the close ties that Israel and Babylon have, aka USA, the US, the bond that they have, all the money that the US shells out to Israel, right? You know, it's you know, so many layers to this, you know, but it's, you know, of course it's all spiritual, but it's so many layers to this, man. And the culprit is E. And nigga does not keep at home, bro. The culprit does not keep at home. But it's beautiful how the Lord is shaking things up, man. And guess what? It's going to be more on the edge of your seats type of activity. Okay. This is Revelation chapter 11, verse 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. That second woe is referring to World War II. And the third war, Salakia, and the third woe is actually what? World War III. Is it not coming quickly? I mean, from my knowledge and understanding of Yahweh Bashem Yashah and just getting into history like we all should be, you know, and, you know, to the best of our ability. And I'll say this as a side note, Akiam, hey, utilize Google to the best of your ability. Utilize libraries to the best of your ability. Utilize your tablets, utilize your cell phones, utilize YouTube for all the history, bro. It's all it's all at our fingertips. So utilize it. And if you don't know, reach out to heads of your camp or brothers who's over you who can go over stuff with you. You know, we're almost out of here, but, you know, let's keep growing through the spirit, you know, and it's fun. You know, it's fun going back, you know, over this history and touching up over precepts and these breakdowns. You know, the times we in, bro, why you think Yahweh Shah Mashiach is called a comforter? It's a comfort to know what the hell is going on, bro. It's a comfort for me to do this lesson right now. It wasn't an illusion of that video that was just shown with JD Vance and then Trump with the other world leaders and letting people know, hey, yeah, you skating on thin ice. It's about to be what? World War III. Then here it is. You come to Revelation chapter 11, verse 14. The second woe is past, World War II. And behold, the third woe cometh quickly. Is it not coming quickly? You know, things are being sped up, you know, you know, things are coming at a high rate. The Lord is cooking, man. But I just want to touch on that, you know, how, you know, the common denominator, now that I think about it, you know, because China, if I'm not mistaken, can't go too hard on Taiwan because the U.S. is going to step in. Hey, just like with what? North Korea and South Korea. Same thing. The U.S. is always in the middle of some shit. Them niggas cannot keep at home. E cannot keep at home. So E is the culprit between these rifts, you know. But between these rifts, you have countries divided. You have these nations, you have these countries, you have these nations divided on the strength of the U.S. being in the middle of every goddamn thing. Because I guess of the weaker, how I want to word this. I guess the you know, those who gravitate toward more towards the U.S. policy, such as what? Ukraine from Russia, right? then Taiwan from China, and then, you know, South Korea and then North Korea, right? They're split, you know. But of course, we understand that Israel and Iran, you know, is in the Middle East, so they're, you know, but they're still, you know, you have your Muslims, your Christians, those who, you know, practice Judaism, you know, your extremists, and, you know, and the whole ISIS thing, you know. So a lot of it's is propagated, but who's always in the middle? The U.S., man. The U.S. Niggas come in your backyard stirring up shit. We got people like, hey, this the better option. Okay, my ice colder over here. The grass is greener over here. Because he is the culprit between all these, you know, with a lot of these rifts. Now they may, you know what? I can't even say that. I'll say that, yeah, because he will continue to fan the fire. Basically, he ain't got no problem instigating and spreading it, you know. But that's all I have on this. And Abaratazah, this is edifying for the body. So once again, with that, call halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Waharak Hakodash Brakatham. Once again, I'd like to give double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders, a great millstone who rule well. Salutations to the select number of Achaeon, pushing his truth and sincerity in four corners of the round earth. And salutations to the select number of Achaeon, pushing this truth, okay? Pushing this truth and sincerity, and salutations to the select number of Aquath. And once again, double honors to the apostles and bishops and elders who rule well, man. But that's all I have on this. And once again, with that, shalom.